in the Western world, there's the glamorization of the million, or there's the glamorization of the billion, or there's the glamorization of the first 100K. I remember when I was 22 years old, I made my first $100,000 salary, not like cash collected, but six-figure year salary. And I was like, finally, like that took so much energy. What's up, Alvin? Alvin says, yo, that took so much longer. So I'll give you the time frame. From 17, let's just say, to 22, I was working so disgustingly hard. Alvin said, this is about to be fire. It's about to be fire. So hard. And I was making such little progress. I worked at like 10 to 15 different jobs. I was an SDR for agencies. I was a head of sales for a tech sales company. I was an SDR at a tech sales company. I worked as a sales rep at YD. Took a long time to get progress in, and I couldn't keep a lot of them. And I wasn't skilled enough. I was young. I was 17, 18, 19, 20, trying to compete in corporate. And it was really challenging. So it took me about 4 to 5 years competing in the capitalistic market to get to a first six-figure a year salary. 4 years, say 5 years. And then from 22 to 26, it took, look, a little bit less than 4 years, but 4-ish years to now make $1 million a year revenue. Now at 26 and 27 at the end of the year, like, I'll put it this way, we're comfortably past $1 million. And now my eyes are set on like the $1 million a month, which is like 10 million a year, essentially. And what I've realized is the skill that it took me to get from one level to the other were a different batch of skills that got me from 6 to 7. So the skill that got me from 0 to 6 and then 6 to 7 were different. And what I'm learning now as I escape, let's just say, the proverbial swamp. So the swamp, according to Hormozy, is 1 to 3 million a year. By God's grace, we'll probably be out of the swamp like very soon. I'll put it that way. In revenue. And the reason why I'm starting by showing that it took 5 years to get from 0 to 6 figures salary, and then 4 years to get from 6 to 7 figures in revenue. And now I'm like, okay, it might take me just, if God wills it, I'll put it this way. If it takes me more than a year and a half to get to $1 million a month, I will be genuinely surprised. I reckon it'll happen this year. But anyway, why do I mention that? Because what you're going to find is the skills that I'm going to share with you today that showed me how to make my first $1 million in my mid-20s. It was a specific set of skills that were paramount to get from 6 to 7 figures. But when you're under 6 figures a year, the goal to get from 0 to 6 figures were a different set of skills. And maybe I'll make another video in 2 weeks talking about what are the 10 skills that will get you to 6 figures a year. But today we're talking about 7 figures. So that's the context. Albin said, stay till the end and interact and you can win $50. Big love to you too, my bro. I appreciate it. What's up, Mario? Albin said, this year or next year, doesn't matter. It's coming soon. It will come this year. But it's the principle that I wanted to talk about. So skill set number 1, I mean, this is pretty obvious, but I want to start with the obvious things. You got to get good at sales. Someone said to get to 7 to 10 million a year, you got to get good at sales. And then to get to 100 million a year, you got to get good at marketing. And I think that's generally good advice. Now, why do they say 7 figures or 8 figures is kind of the salesperson's game? I suspect I know why. When I was 21, I worked at what was one of the fastest growing tech sales companies in all of the world about 4 or 5 years ago. And at that time, I was really, really good at the 6-figure game. I was good at being desperate and just hustling. You can hustle to 6 figures, right? But the $1 million really took a level of salesmanship that I don't think most people are prepared to practice. I remember being 21 before I would go to work and work for this company. I would be in the shower and I'd be listening to Jordan Belfort's video and like his sales training videos. And then I'd listen to Grant Cardone's and I'd listen to Ty Lopez's and I'll listen to Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins every morning. And what would happen was I started to sound like them over time. Because as you guys know, one of my favorite words of the year, we're mimetic. So what I discovered was a lot of people think they're good at sales, but that's just because people have told them that. Hey man, you're a really good communicator. You're so empathetic. You have such high emotional intelligence. You should speak on stage. You should start a podcast. All of us have heard these things before, but you need to audit where you're hearing these things from. If you're hearing these things from someone who respectfully isn't living the life that you want, then that opinion essentially is redundant. Now,